Good afternoon to everybody. It is too late. I'm sorry. No, I'm going to pick on within my stipulated time. I'm very much thankful to the organizers, especially International Conference on Plants and Environment. This is a really wonderful topic, plants and environment. It's a recent times, especially Corona times, we have to discuss on plants and environment. This is really very useful to all, and also we have to look on plants and environment, how it is going on in our surroundings. So what is happening in our future also, what is the new things coming out, and how threat is coming to our human life. So recently we faced a threat to the, everybody is scared about our threat, how we are going to face this problem. So like this, these people are conducting plants and environment, organized by Department of Botany, Giriraj Government College in collaboration with the Council for Green Revolution Hyderabad and Department of Botany Telangana University. I am very much thankful to you all for inviting me this international seminar. So here I am going to speak on practical oriented things which I have done last 10 years when I am joined in the university as a botany assistant professor. Then now I am associate professor. What I've done and what I contributed to the university, and what I contribute to the nature, and what I contribute to the extensive conservation, and especially on endemic and threatened plants. So before going to my topic, this is brief on Eastern Ghats endemics and threatened plants and Eastern Ghats status. Then real picture I'm going to do what I've done last 10 years. I will show you that things. So my title is Extensive Conservation of Endemic and Threatened Plants of Eastern Ghats of India. So what are the plants are endemic and threatened plants are present in Eastern Ghats, and what is the threat phases are facing, and so what is the suitable things to conserve the endemic and threatened plants. So I did my little role to conserve the some of the plants in our botanic garden. Also he habilitated the various places in botanic gardens. I distributed the various institutions also. So with this, I will start this my lecture. So this is the satellite map of Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats, especially, you can see the states which are connected with the Eastern Ghats. And when you see the rainfall, tropical, and also the temperature in Kadapa, we are also facing 45, 46, 47 also. And water resource, water resource, rivers, there are several rivers and waterfalls are also numerous waterfalls, and also natural springs also many are found in the Eastern Ghats area. So when you see the vegetation types, evergreen forest, semi-evergreen forest, moist deciduous forest, dry deciduous forest, dried savanna forest, scrub, dry evergreen forest. Why I'm showing these things is, so with this various kind of natural habitats, we brought the threatened endemic plants to our extensive conservation centers. So these are some example for the vegetation types, and these are some of the other examples. And plant diversity in Eastern Ghats, pteridophytes is nearly 120 plus, gymnosperms are 8, angiosperms are 3000 plus. Total flowering plants 3200 plus. Still new species are coming every day, every year coming, and the number is increasing. And cultivated and domesticated 185 species, and medicinal plants more than 1800 species. Dye yielding plant species are 50. Aromatic plants are still, the number is increasing. So dominant families, and when you see in the Eastern Ghats area, dominant families, Poaceae is the one of the highest and richest family in the among the angiosperm plants, Poaceae, and followed by Fabaceae and Cyperaceae, Euphorbiaceae. And when you see the genera wise, Crotalaria in Fabaceae is the highest number of taxa, and Cyperaceae is 20, and Leucas followed by the other species also you can see. And these are some of the ethnic groups present in the Eastern Ghats area. Various Chenchus, Konradis, there are several people. These people are really wonderful natural conservation people, and also they are not going to harm to the forest. So these are some fauna, and these are some of the other life. So Eastern Ghats face mass extinction. So Eastern Ghats has decreased by almost 32 200 square kilometers between 1920 and 2015. You can imagine 1920 to 2015, 32,200 square kilometers area of the Eastern Ghats has decreased. The overall forest cover spread over 43.4% of Eastern Ghats in 1920. So reduced to 27.5% by July 2015. So the area to have a last maximum green cover are Mahbubnagar, Telangana and Gajapati in Odisha. So these are the two places maximum green cover as every day is going on. Very less is going to take the, there are several threats. So it's not just loss of green cover, plants and trees endemic to the, so endemic and threatened plants of Eastern Ghats face mass extinction, already discussed. Then endemism is the ecological state of a species being unique to the defined geographical location, such as islands, nations, country, or other defined zone or habitat types. So the extreme opposite of endemism is cosmopolitan distribution. Then there are two types of categories, two subtypes in endemism, paleo-endemism, neo-endemism. So causes of endemism: narrow ecological amplitude and poor adaptability, geographical barriers, changing climatic conditions. And India shares about 11.4% flora among the world. Angiosomes in India, 19,259 plus taxa. Endemic in India, 4,000 species plus, and it is a 23% 90 taxa. Endemic in Eastern Ghats, 450 species. Out of 450 species, 44 are covers in red list categories. The Eastern Ghats are homeland for 96 species of wild relatives crops. Example: wild rice, wild pepper, wild banana, wild turmeric, wild pigeon, etc. And these are some of the endemic species: Dimorphocalix carnulensis, and Pimpinella tirpatensis, and Cleome viscosa, and variety, and Ophioryza chandrasekharani, and Euphorbia sengupta. This is Brarlegia stocki, endemic to AP. Hibanthes vastavini. And these are the very famous, everybody knows about the Pterocarpus santlanus, endemic to Eastern Ghats. And Justicia nilagrensis, Croton scabiosus. And this is the Decosphere species. Three species are endemic to this in the Eastern Ghats area. And Areoliana hookeriana and also Areoliana lushingtoni, both are endemic to Eastern Ghats. And threat to biodiversity. There are several threat to the biodiversity: destruction of habitats, fragmentation of habitat, and overexploitation, hunting of for poor economic purpose, pollution, and also agriculture, and also predators and population growth, exotic species. There are several ways of the threat to the biodiversity. So these are some photos for the threat of biodiversity, how it is going to threat to the various factors. And these are other photos, and also some of the areas, forest areas cultivating the podo cultivation, and forest lands are occupying, and threat to the native species. And see how the lands are, forest lands are cutting to the huge trees and converting to the cultivation. And IUCN threat categories, International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resource, they categorize the threat categories. The concept and structure of data book has promulgated by IUCN. The aim at categorizing the species at risk according to the severity of the threats facing them, and also estimating the immense for their extinction. The concept has been adopted by the several countries which have started to put together their own lists. In India, Wildlife Act 1972 lists in its schedules of species, animals according to their status in the world. So scheduled species, these are the very important scheduled species: Schedule 1, Schedule 2. Like you might be heard about the black buck who is hunted by the Salman Khan. He jailed sometimes. So this is very serious Wildlife Act in India. And the Botanical Survey of India and also Zoological Survey of India published the data books on threatened plants, animals in the country respectively. So these are the some categories. I don't want to go details about this category. So in the latest red list categories, IUCN 2014, IUCN evaluated 6 plant species as extinct. 61 are critical endangered, 151 are endangered, 120 are vulnerable in India. So threatened species in Eastern Ghats, total 44, possibly extinct 3, endangered 17, rare 14, vulnerable 10, intermediate 3. So you can see some of the species are IUCN threat categories, and IUCN fall under the IUCN red list categories. So 2010, this paper published in the Journal of Threatened Taxa, Cycas bedomine. In 2003, critically, the species is critically endangered. And 1997 endangered, and 2008 come to the 2000. After 6 years, it is critically endangered. You can see the how much threat having at each species, especially threatened and endemic species. So this is another endemic species, Illigardia papilnifolia, which is restricted to Eastern Ghats. And this is another paper published in the Journal of Threatened Taxa about this threatenedness. And this is Ceropesia spiralis. And conservation of biodiversity. I'm going to the next topic. So in Convention on Biological Diversity held in 1992, stressed the need of the conservation of biodiversity for sustainable development and perpetuation of human beings on Earth. So conservation in the protection, preservation, management, and restoration of wild life and natural resource. So through the conservation of biodiversity and the survivability of many species and habitats which are threatened due to human activities can be ensured. So there is an urgent need not only to manage and conserve the biotic wealth, but also restore the degraded ecosystems. So there are two basic strategies for biodiversity conservation. So these are most effective and efficient mechanism for conservation of biological diversity. One is in situ conservation, another one is ex situ conservation. So natural biodiversity conservation, in situ and ex situ conservation. In situ conservation, on-site conservation, ex situ conservation outside the natural habitats. These are the example for ex situ. These are the example for in situ wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, bioreserves, reserve forests, and ex situ seed banks, zoos, and botanical gardens. So in situ conservation, we don't want to go far about full details. Everybody knows about in situ conservation. And ex situ conservation, it's outside the natural habitats, especially botanical gardens, zoological parks, and seed banks, gene banks, germplasm banks. So then we will coming to the real picture, botanical gardens. I am going to take the ex situ conservation one example as a botanical garden. So a botanical garden is a place where flowers and fruits and vegetables are grown, and most of them have started keeping the exotic species of plants for educational and research purpose. So many rare endangered plants lives in botanical gardens, which have taken task for conservation of plants in real sense. So in India, first botanical garden was established in Bombay in 1830 by Agriculture Society, and in 1838 one more botanical garden was established in Madras. So these are some of the pictures of the worldwide botanical garden pictures. So when coming to the botanical garden Ekavemana University, then we are going to the what we have done last 10 years. I will show you the next coming slides. So Ekavemana University Botanic Garden is intended to educate the students, researchers, and common man about plant biodiversity and its importance in human well-beings. So our botanic garden mission is promote ex situ conservation of the threatened plants resource of the Eastern Ghats region of India through research and education. So our goal is serve as a national repository of living plant specimens of Eastern Ghats towards ex situ conservation and propagation of endemic and threatened plants of the region. Maintain live plant collections for the purpose of research, education, display, and aesthetics. Serve as a center of excellence for conservation of research and education. And established in 2008, and area 18.67 acres. Total number of species conserved 1565 species so far, and total RET species, rare, endemic, and threatened plants 150 species. So this is the barren land which I have selected for the 20 acres, nearly 20 acres of land which I have taken in 2009. So you can see very few amla trees and 2 neem trees are present in this 20 acres area, and we made a fencing. So this is the first after 3-4 years it came small entrance, and it existed like this. So this is the present situation of the garden, present that entrance gate. After receiving the fund from the Ministry of Environment Forest 2017, nearly under the ABG scheme, I received nearly more than 80 lakhs for 3 years of the conservation of the, especially on endemic and threatened plants in this region. So this is the garden where the garden entrance we highlighted with the RET plants, especially endemic and threatened plants, with with the good paints with our fine art students. When you enter into the entrance of the botanic garden, then the people can aware that what is going inside. That you can see the red sander logs, also the paintings. So this is the our elevation, 140 meters elevation. So you can see the Google map also, that enter area or university area, it can looks like white soil, it's alkaline soil. It's a very difficult to grow the plants. So this is the plan of our botanic garden. There are several blocks in the botanic garden. Nearly 24 blocks are present in the garden. So each blocks its own identity, its own kind of plants are established in the each block, like wild edible fruits, then RET plants, plant dinosaur section. In the plant dinosaur section, especially only on cycads and wild ornamental plants, which are the plants are very ornamental in forest. Those bring we planted in the botanic garden. Economic plant section, and also cactus section, and landscape area, especially lotus and lily plants, woodland area. So these are the sections, and these are some of the infrastructure we developed in the inside the garden, and net houses and the construction of the ponds and also other paths. So this is that after entering to the botanic garden, you can see the some of the courts and also vision and mission of their garden. So with the barren area, it looks like this. This is the one aquatic pond we established, artificial pond. Here also we given one quotation water awareness. No water, no life. Save every drop of water. See, so this students has to aware the water conservation, especially students in hostel living. So they are wasting their water. So we are going to explain their when I come to the visit the botanic garden about the water importance. We never know the worth of water till the well is dry. Thomas Fuller is given wonderful quotation. Well dry in the we don't know the worth of the water. So see, this is the 4 years back. The pond is very dry area, very just we kept the water and also given some the water lilies. Just now it is looking very greenery, and also it's having a nearly 50 to 60 species. It is occupied with all aquatic species, with grasses, other aquatic plants. So these are some of the areas, landscaping area, and so these are the net house facilities. We have 5 net houses and vermicompost area also we established. So this is the some of the areas, landscaping areas constructed in the botanic garden. So this is the one area which the plants are occupied, very thick arboretum with trees, all endemic and threatened trees. So this is the herbarium and lichen herbarium, and also herbarium also established in connect with the botanic garden. Then when the students will come, then they have to see which are the plants are herbs, especially herbs which are documented in the herbarium house. So research activities, germplasm collection. I and my students along with the other team, we are visiting to the various forest areas and collecting the RET plants with the proper care, and taking them to the botanic garden, and massively propagating in the botanic garden. So this is some of the areas, cycad collection, and also nymphia collection. So these are the seed Cycas perica collected from the East Godavari, Pinjarikonda Hills. Nearly 2,000 seeds we collected, one phase, and the other phase we collected 5,000 seeds. and all seeds are germinated. Now all the plants are growing with 3 years age. Nearly Cycas bedomai and Cycas perica. We are the highest propagating persons in the world. I have to proudly say, these two species are 5,000 and 4,000, nearly 10,000. Two species are 10,000 individuals are germinated and growing very well in the. I will show you that slide also. So shortly, after 2 years, we are going to rehabilitate in the again going to the forest, and also we will plant it in the wherever the plant we bought it from the area. So these two plants also risk. So this is the tissue culture lab. So this is the process where we are doing in the net houses and with the massive propagation with in the net house and also outside the net house, and treating the seeds, and also seed scarification. Like that, we are doing several methods and propagating the RET species. So these are the some of the Hildegardia papulifolia and also Boswellia vavellifoliata, then Syzygium alternifolium. These also other RET species are growing in the botanic garden. So this right side Hildegardia papulifolia, you can see back side we have distributed to the city forest Kadapa. Now it is 1 year back, this photo, it is growing very well. Wherever we distributed, again we are going to visit and taking the photos, and whether a plant is growing or not, and then we have to distribute to the people. And also I am asking the people how we are distributed important plants, whether it is growing or not, other good condition or bad condition. Like that, we are taking the photographs, and also we are updating every time. So these are the other RET species which are growing in your net houses in the massive way. So these are the list of the RET species. I don't want to read out all the species. So this is the Cycas bedomai and Cycas verica in the wild. You can see how beautiful it is. Both species are in wild, both male and female cones. You can see seeds we collected from the Sheshachalam Hills, Cycas bedomai and Talakona, especially Talakona, and Cycas perica from the Pinjarikonda Hills, East Godavari. So this you can see lab from field to net house to land. These are the Cycas sheshachalensis, Cycas perica, Cycas revoluta, Cycas bedomai. All are growing very well in the land, in the botanical garden, and also especially you can see inside the net houses how much individual population we are propagating. This is only Cycas bedomai, Cycas perica individuals, and Cycas bedomai. I will show you the videos, but time is not permit me. Then I will show you the videos also. So this is another important species. Recent last year we introduced to our botanic garden from Sikkim Botanical Survey of India, Sikkim Center. They contributed to us our botanic garden, Ginkgo biloba, living fossil. Everybody knows about this plant about. So this is another Boswellia vavellifoliata from the wild, how it is looks, and we bought from the wild, and now the nearly 2,000 individuals are growing in our botanical garden. So this is another species, Hildegardia papulifolia. Hildegardia papulifolia, all over 3 years, we propagated more than 5,000 and distributed to the all over India, and botanical garden, forest people and beautification people, several people. So these are red center Pterocarpus centralina also. We propagated massively and also distributed. And Syzygium alternifolium also propagated and distributed massively. And some of the herbaceous plants also growing in our botanical, Boswellia umbellata, earlier it is to be Caralluma. You can see some of the Caralluma species, Caralluma diffusa and Caralluma umbellata. Now it is changed to the Boswellia umbellata. So these another Carallumas growing in our botanic garden, Caralluma crenulata, Caralluma lacinantha, Caralluma diffusa, and Caralluma ascendens. So these are another conservation of the other herbaceous plants. It is very difficult to conservation of herbaceous plants, especially Brachychelmas and also Cirpigius, Brachychelma annamacharya, Brachychelma ciliatum, Brachychelma colarensis, Brachychelma maculatum, Brachychelma pullai, Brachychelma sheshachalensis. So like that, herbaceous plants also, this every season it's coming and going. So this is another, recently we discovered a new variety, Brachychelma maculatum variety. We read in Redia it is accepted. So these are other Cirpigia species, Cirpigia gentiana, Cirpigia pullai, and Cirpigia spiralis. and other Decastesia coropensis also growing in our botanic garden, and Decalepis hamiltoni, Dalbergia latifolia, and other Cirbesia bulbosa, Lucy, Cirbesia candelabrum. So this is another important thing I am going to express here. Last year I introduced the world largest leaf, Victoria amazonica. I collected from the Calcutta Botanic Garden and introduced to our Botanic Garden. This is a very big size pond, especially for this plant only at Victoria amazonica only. We created this pond and established it. It's growing very well, and now it is not a season. It's a last year photo. It's going very well, and also it's within 1 year we established it very beautifully. So these are the leaves which are grown in our botanic garden. You can see how much size it came. And see, it is the first time in Indian history the leaves bear nearly 10 to 29 kilos of weight of each kid. In Botanical Survey of India also, in Calcutta also, they used only 12 kilos of baby they kept on the leaves. So in our botanic garden, we tried up to 28 kilos. You can see how one day we did a festival on Victoria Festival. So all kids came and they have taken pictures. You can see Narshita 28 kilos. This girl is 28 kilos, and even though it is bearing that leaf. I got that very good response from all our Kadapa district, and also various people are visited, and we got the good citation to our botanic garden. So this is how the people, how many students are visited and how many students are visiting and awareing the plant wealth of botanic garden, and also especially on conservation aspects. So these are some water lilies growing in nearly 5 to 10 colors of water lilies I'm conserving in the botanic garden. So this is Acacia fistula. So Akira Miyawaki, I think everybody knows this method of plantation. Akira Miyawaki is a Japanese botanist. I don't want to go for a detail about within a short time, within a short period. So he's developed one method, high density forest, very close to plants are growing, and developed within the 10 years or 20 years of span. With the 300 years, it will take time 300 years to grow. So that is the forest you can create within the 20 years. So like with that method we started nearly 10 acres of sites, 5 acres, 2 sites we selected in the university, and nearly the 40 species of wild plants we selected. Total individuals are 1,20,000 plants are each hectare, each plot. 5 acres plant, 55, 650, around 50 plus 1,000 plants. Another 5 acres, 50,000 plants. It is a highest number of individuals, or highest number of high density forests in India. I am proudly say 10 acres of nobody is maintaining. So this is the earlier time how they started they spent 1 crore rupees for our university, and especially this Akira Miyawaki plantation. And with the MGNRC grants and the daily wage people are coming and they are doing the works. So now you can see high density plantation in 2019-20, just 1 year back we started, 2019 December we started. Now, so this is like this, this is also 6 months back photo, not current photo. Current photo is more than 10 feet height each species. So very, very fastly grown within a span of 1 year. The total area is created a small forest, forest-like forest. So the education awareness, we are giving good education awareness to the students or botanic garden, especially on RET plants and conservation of natural resource, and also especially on plants, especially on threatened plants and endemic plants, Eastern Ghats. So these are the people are visited to our botanic garden, and famous scientists from Lucknow, then Rasingham BSI, and CSR ex-director, and also Sanjay Prasad. There are several people visited, and also NAC director. And this guy, like this, we are distributing to the people. SR Yadav from Kolhapur University, we distribute to their botanic garden plants, and they are also growing well. They are also sharing the photos. So various people are coming and planting our area. Then recently last year, Dr. Hamid from BSI Kolkata also we are distributed, and also every forest department So education awareness programs, so connected RET plants awareness programs for schools and college students, connected RET plantation programs, resource materials we prepared on brochures, endemic lichens of Eastern Ghats, RET plants, posters, booklets, and plants for Eko University campus, handbook on endemic and threatened plants. So these are the some of the brochures we started. Ornamental plants and also to aware the people. These are the brochures we prepared for the botanic garden. So this is also another brochure. So this is a giant water lily brochure. So this is a lichen brochures. So these are one of the new species we discovered, Brachyshelma vemane, with this project. Also recently one last 2 months another species published, Brachyshelma Lepidognathus Rajasekhare, former vice Rajasekhar Reddy, we kept the name Lepidognathus Rajasekhare.
Sir,
So awards we received 2-3 times Chief Minister, Vanam Award, IP Green Award, and AP Best Biodiversity Conserver Award. And these are some of the news clips and covered about our botanic garden. So this is one flower why I am showing this last slide is. So whenever we have a functions or whenever we have a any guests are coming, just we are collecting the botanic garden pond and giving to the bouquet without spending the plastic, without buying from the shops. Just we are giving our natural bouquet. So I am suggesting to people, then you can prepare on our own bouquets and give to your guests. Thank you very much.